This is a special Felc episode. This is an incredible opportunity for you, Cool Boy Nation. So I hope you're just as excited as Noli and I are.
Yeah, guys, I even want to say tonight I won't be sitting in my normal chair.
What? What chair are you sitting in, Noli?
Hold on.
Dress the chair.
Dress the chair.
All right, guys, I got my floor chair.
Whoa!
And I got my blanket.
Whoa!
He's nuzzling up.
I love it.
It's story time.
And right here on my night stool, I have my nightcap.
Nolan, you're fucking so hot right now. Dude, Denzel Washington, get out of here. I'd fuck you every morning.
Yeah, I'm so comfortable, guys. I'm ready.
Live from Cool Boys Central.
You're the boss now, man. I'm boss up here.
Hold your dicks and rub your tits.
You'll be ice cold.
Here come the Cool Boys.
Just a young boy.
So cool.
So cool.
Ice Cool Boy.
Greetings, Cool Boy Nation, and welcome to a super special installment of the Cool Boys Podcast. The Book of Felc, Chapter 1. Felc begins. Now, you've written here, it was a hot, humid Tuesday afternoon in Houston, and more about the great Texas abyss and daydreaming, but this doesn't really take place in me alone in a room. This is me out in the world. This is adventures. And also, to differentiate from previous Book of Felc installments, in which you guys have written fantasies about me being raped as a pubescent child by men named Lance.
Or just having fun with Lance, Zane, and Rad Rod.
I don't remember any rape. I remember just being good times.
Well, they're adults by your own
consension,
by your own admission of guilt.
Lots of consent. It's all consent, baby.
Well, this is me reclaiming the Book of Felc for the actual Felc. The Felc character is very not at all loosely based on me. I admit this. And these are true stories. And this is chapter 1 of those true stories.
I want to say something real quick, just so we're clear. The Book of Felc, when written into, I think started around episode 31, and then it lasted for about 20 episodes, odd episodes, bouncing in and out, was never supposed to be about you, Felc. It was always kind of just, as far as Nolan and I were concerned, it was just kind of you with your incredible, sultry, seductive, fucking basset tones of your voice, just, enraging and entertaining and gorging and enthralling the listeners and ourselves, with these wonderful tales. So I just want to make sure it's clear.
More so ourselves.
About a character named Felc, which is what
Right.
you call me,
Right.
who's from Houston, which is
Right.
where I'm from.
Right. Not confusing at all. I hope that's very clear.
Yeah. I think you guys just like writing gay porn about
I
me.
love gay
Inappropriate
fiction.
gay
I love gay porn fiction.
It's my favorite.
By the way, if you haven't caught on, Cool Boy Nation, maybe my 9 to 5 is gay porn fiction writing.
Yeah. Well, this episode is coming by special request, calling namely your bluffs that I wouldn't be willing to do this, and I am. And to intro, this is Felc Begins. This is going to take you from about age 14-ish, about 23. Basically bringing me up to the Felc that you guys met.
Well, what's your name, by the way? I don't think any of us said our names.
I am Felc.
Yeah, I'm Ballard.
And I'm Noli.
Well, cool boys, it is time to move on to our Cool Boy show topic, the Book of Felc, Chapter 1. Felc Begins.
Report preliminary findings. Not worried about her. You gotta keep hungry.
Cool Boy Nation. Pop your cocks and drop your tongues.
It might be interesting and important for you to know.
It's time for our Cool Boy show topic.
Hey, I like that.
Spoilers. So cool.
I just want to say that honestly, what Noli's doing right now, snuggled up in his chair with his whiskey, bourbon, whatever it was.
Yeah. And yeah, just to downplay expectations, there's not going to be as much fucking in Chapter 1 as there is going to be in Chapter 2 and 3. getting into
Teasing it.
nitty gritty stories. This is me becoming the person who could and would and should do all the things that the stories that you guys want to hear about.
Yes.
Yay.
So it starts with background, basically. Young Felc in Houston, where it is humid. Basically from like first grade to eighth grade, I was at one small religious school, meaning I was with the same 25 to 30 students from first grade to eighth grade. So your interactions with girls are kind of framed by that, right? Like every dirty secret. If you shit your pants in first grade, not that I did, but maybe I did.
I did.
They know about it in eighth grade.
I shut my pants in 5th grade.
We're a booger eater, or like to pick at your acne, like I did. These girls knew about it. So I kind of felt locked out. I mentioned these times just to give background that my interaction with the opposite sex was limited to like a specific amount of people. And it didn't help my, anxiety with social interaction that I was on Ritalin all the time. I had been diagnosed with ADHD. As an adult later, once ADHD would stop becoming such a popular thing to give to every single kid, just because parents would rather hear their kids have ADHD than that they're just kind of dumb. I definitely had it. I was like constantly being tested and everything.
What was that like?
I mean, it was extreme. You were constantly on edge. You were on a stimulant basically all the time. Coming out of that like whole thing, like I mentioned later in adulthood, I would be diagnosed with Asperger's. And I mentioned this early on because we can come back to it later. The idea that the main thing that you're not supposed to do when interacting with like people who are autistic or on that spectrum is give them like vague directions. Like you don't passively aggressively say, hey, the trash hasn't been taken out. You're supposed to say, you should take out the trash. This is to like an autistic kid. You should take out the trash before, 2 p.m. And then they'll do it because they don't fucking get that like, hey, your room's kind of messy. It means like you need to be cleaning up your room. Things like that. So I had gotten weird advice that would come into like eventually when I went to college. So I'll come back to that. But now I moved on to high school. In high school, I no longer had to interact with girls at all. It was an all boys Catholic high school. And on top of that, when there were interactions with girls, my first year was scarred, quite literally, because I took Accutane for my acne, which actually increases your acne.
Oh, shit. I took Accutane. That shit is fucking horrible, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that first like 6 months of Accutane where it just makes it the worst acne you've ever had all of a sudden. It's horrible. And then you scar from it.
I have a few scars.
It's off the market because it was so fucked up. It was so harmful. You should not have taken it.
It caused such bad acne that my first 6 months basically colored the rest of my high school experience with the girls who were interacting with like my all boys school.
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry you had to do that in high school. I took it sophomore year of college. I'll tell you what, I had like a little bit of acne. It wasn't bad. I was told mild acne and this would clear it up. And it gave me the biggest, nastiest, like triple acne bumps, like 3 pimples on one bump. Brown, not white fucking heads, brown heads that when you just like, they're fucking disgusting when they popped. It was just the brownest, grossest fucking pus. It was horrible.
I had all that too. I even wore makeup.
But you had to go through high school. That's different because that's your community. College is something separate where you can live kind of secretively. High school, you're up front and everybody's there all day, every day.
Well, the Accutane shit started my first week, which is like when they try to like do like mixers and shit. So I was just like,
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to be like out and dealing with that shit. So the only interaction with girls I had for almost 3 years would have been these 3 girls that I carpooled with. And only one of them.
Hot?
No, not particularly. But I mean, like, it doesn't matter when you're fucking 15. If it's girl shaped, you got a boat or you got to hide. And I did. This is how I drove in like an hour every morning. But there was one of the 3 girls who was actually seemed kind of, these were like older girls, like juniors when I was a freshman. And one of them did seem sexually interested in me. There was flirting and like lights, like games that revealed like touching. I touched a boob, exactly one, very briefly as part of like a little
sounds fun
like betting thing we had.
Which, by the way, Cool Boy Nation, if you want to go back and listen to our entire catalog, you can probably regale yourself with some of these wonderful vignettes and stories that Felc will go deeper in.
Yeah, well, that was significant to me because that was like my first like actually sexual interaction with a girl, and it was right when my acne started clearing up.
Hot.
Also, because I switched from Ritalin to Adderall, I dropped like 30 pounds. Because you got to also remember that as an adult man, I weigh a little over 200 pounds, but as a 14-year-old, I weighed like 235.
Wow.
Okay, whatever. I'm like 235 now. I'm not really. I'm like 220. Felk, you're telling me I could lose weight on a diet right now if I took Adderall instead of Ritalin? I'd actually start losing weight?
I had no appetite.
Dude, I'm going to start taking Adderall to lose some weight. This sounds like a great idea. I'm going to take a diet, starring Adderall.
It's unfortunate because my sophomore year, I was, looking good for a 16-year-old yet because my acne had cleared up and I'd lost all that weight. But I was interacting with, it was all boys. It was an all boys school. And I constantly, like, when I tried to get into it, this is junior and senior year, I tried to how do I talk to, I didn't understand guys with girlfriends. Like I literally could not figure out, how do you go from talking to a girl to them being your girlfriend? And there was a moment where this shows how I perceive the world, where at 17, just like it had never occurred to you to masturbate until you were 25 or whatever.
Don't bring me into this. I'm just kidding.
I had an epiphany at 17.
Don't get Ballard started on that.
Don't get me started.
Where I realized, oh, you asked them out on a date. That's what dates are. It hadn't even occurred to me that was a possibility. This epiphany, I remember I was staring at the goldfish screensaver of a computer. I remember
I liked Bad Dog. Honestly, I loved Bad Dog.
I don't remember Bad Dog. I remember
it was the dog
goldfish.
that ran back and forth on your desktop and tore papers up and shit, and you'd be like, Bad Dog.
But
oh my God.
I was like, okay, now that I know this, I'm going to ask out every single girl I interacted with. And I in 3 days after having never tried to get a date, I asked 17 girls because I was just they're all going to say no. It's fine. Some actually said yes, and then I said no because they were less attractive than I felt like I deserved when I looked in the mirror. So I was doing it very scientific, very analytically. But I did end up going out on just 3 dates, and it was all in a very rapid period.
What year were you? You're a sophomore, junior?
This is now my senior year. I bloomed late.
Okay, good. Okay, may I interject? Senior year, I had one date. And she decided to bring her best friend, and I can let you assume it did not turn out well.
Well, it's interesting because the third of those dates was my prom date, and I've confirmed on Facebook that not only her but also the girl who I was.
Wait, you went back onto Facebook and searched the people you dated in high school?
No, this isn't when Facebook started. This is 2005 when you just you log into your school and it gives you the sister school.
Okay.
And it's just here's all the people who in your class. I'm I remember that name. I remember that name. I remember that name.
Back when it was a Facebook, quote unquote.
Back when it was a Facebook. Yeah. This is
right.
I didn't do this in fucking 2019. I wonder if the girl from high school is now. And it turns out
you did it before this episode.
She's a lesbian who went to Smith. She was still going to Smith at this point.
Good for her.
As was the other fucking girl who was in the car ride and who let me touch her boob. They were both lesbians. So lesbians liked me.
So hot.
I found. They probably don't like me anymore.
Don't get me started on lesbians, Felk. Don't get me started.
Okay, well, you can talk about lesbians.
So, so hot.
I would love for you to talk about lesbians right now.
By the way, I have been friends with lots of lesbians in my life. I do not know what it is. I am just naturally attracted to lesbians. And if you're lesbian, I want to be your friend.
Okay.
I want to hang out with you. I want to kick it with you. I want to just do anything with you. It's amazing. I love lesbians. They're amazing.
Well, at the time, I think I was sexually non-threatening, and that's why those two geared on me. Because ever since,
dude, tell me about it. That's my whole life. My whole life, I've been sexually non-threatening, so it's been amazing.
That's ridiculous. You're not remotely sexually non-threatening. You're a bear coming at me.
Yes,
I'm a bear mixed with rugged and clean cut.
So the problem was with these few dates I had is that I thought, I wanted to lose my virginity. I'd seen movies. Movies tell you that you don't go to college a virgin. That's bad.
American Pie.
I gotta lose it. So that's how I made it. So my mission was make a girl into my girlfriend and she'll have sex with me and I'll have lost it before I go to college. So that became my goal, and it didn't work out real well because even though girls would go out with me, they wouldn't, because I had a spanking new Miata,
So hot.
a nice haircut.
Too hot.
Too hot to air.
I was able to get dates, but I like, the awkwardness, I wasn't like ready for that, nor is that really the goal I should have been orienting with. I was naive. This is young, naive Felc who doesn't fucking know anything, finding his path.
Hang on, time out. All right, Felc. If you can go back in time, I know it's hard with, Asperger's to do hypotheticals here, but
Yeah.
if you can go back in time and talk to sophomore, junior year, senior year high school Felc,
Yeah.
what would you say?
I would, well,
you
ideally.
have 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds to talk to him. What would you say?
Oh, I can. You're getting it. You're getting way ahead. But I wouldn't go back to high school because high school was all boys, and and not
Cool
in a fun way. But
boys.
also, no, I went to a fucking prep school where I worked. I was just studying for 16 hours a day. It was a fucking nightmare because my parents wanted me to get A's or at least B's.
AIDS?
A's.
Oh, I was like, whoa.
No.
I had horrible parents, I thought. Jesus Christ.
No. They didn't want me to get AIDS. Although that as far as I know, that was the time at which I was the most at risk for getting AIDS because I was getting my hair cut by a gay guy who apparently had AIDS. And
Why? Because he did bleeding on your hair?
He did once cut my ear accidentally, and I was like, if he had cut himself first, he could have given me AIDS.
He has a cut on his dick and he rubs it on your ear.
Rest in peace, David.
By the way, Cool Boy Nation, tune into the Tom Cruise haircut episode for more on Felc's hairdresser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nolan is
Wait.
getting hotter and hotter
Hey guys,
every
how
second.
did Dave die? Was he doing 88 miles per hour on the
Yeah,
fly?
but-
Blow off a gigolo's dick?
No, he caught pneumonia and he couldn't fight it off because he had AIDS. That's the true story.
Rest in peace, David the hairdresser.
Yes, indeed.
I heard he had a huge cock.
So the biggest.
This brings me to the place in
That
which
was
all of a
amazing.
sudden I was forced to interact with girls all over the place, which was the AMC movie theater I worked at 2 summers. I worked there my junior year and senior year between high school and college. And there I was not interacting with, Christian Catholic schoolgirls. I was interacting with girls who needed
Catholic
to work.
high school girls in trouble.
No.
Isn't that Kentucky Fried Movie?
Yeah.
Isn't that Kentucky Fried Movie? Catholic high school girls in trouble?
I'm just going to go and fucking say that the over-sexualization or interest in the idea of Catholic
Yeah.
high school girls
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No!
Give me
Don't break it! Don't break it! Oh,
Go
the
to a public
mystique.
school.
Oh, I went to public school. There were definitely no Catholic high school girls in trouble.
Yeah, because they get abortions.
Ow!
Uh,
So hot.
So I now was interacting with public school girls. And after that epiphany in my senior year, coming back to the AMC, I was
Breaking news. We have breaking news.
What?
Guys, as we're recording this, I just got a message from Justin is Hard that there is a new Waterworld Blu-ray release that includes a 40-minute longer cut.
If you recall, in the last episode, I specifically worried about you interrupting personal stories to talk about fucking Waterworld.
Sorry. I can't believe Justin is Hard literally just sent us that. Sorry.
How does he know that? We haven't released that episode yet.
That's why I'm saying it's like just kismet,
Okay,
man.
all right. I guess
I had to say it. I had to interrupt you because that literally happened. I'm sorry. It was amazing that just
Oh,
randomly
yeah.
fucking
I was
happened.
thinking you already listened to the episode, but yeah, it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. It's not
That's
out yet as we're
crazy.
recording this.
That is shocking information.
It's shocking.
He's in for a
He's
treat.
in for a treat next week, especially. All right, Felc, sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No. It was Waterworld update.
It was a Waterworld update, a movie that came out 20 years ago or more.
So, all right. So we're summer between high school and college. I'm working at a movie theater. I'm making hot dogs. I'm fucking causing anarchy, as previously mentioned in our Dirty First Jobs episode, just to see
Great
what
episode.
happens.
Hottest fucking man.
Great
I was
episode.
fucking the hottest fucking man. No. Now I'm interacting with a trashier, almost trailer trashier type of girls. Ow! And my mission is still, go on a date, get a girlfriend, have sex with said girlfriend, break up with said girlfriend, go to college now knowing what the sex is and what it feels like, so that it's not a great mystery to me.
Hey, quick timeout again. Did all of us finally get laid before college?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Woo.
Yeah.
That was a close one, guys. That was a close one.
Yeah. So I did ask out the nice, pretty girl, like they all had boyfriends. I didn't get a single no. I just had I have a boyfriend.
Sluts.
But then I found out this one girl was
She's a
always flirty
slut.
with me. She was always cool. And I asked her out and she was just kind of like, yeah, sure, give me a call. And then she was kind of like busy, like 2 or 3 weeks went by. And I got the impression she was just saying no. Because a lot of girls will do that. They'll give you like next week.
Yeah.
At that age, they do.
Especially that age. Yeah.
So I find one thing happens where we had these midnight screenings where like it was the day before you could see the movie for free and the day before it came out. This was a big deal. I saw AI before anyone else had seen it. I saw Jurassic Park 3 before anyone else had seen it.
Jurassic Park 3, I'm sorry, it's not that special, but AI, that's awesome.
And that was the thing where the AI screening's unrelated, but that was the night that the fucking manager came in and had all these fucking 18-year-old kids who were, just the nerdy ones were there to see AI. And he goes like, yeah, we have 2 movies opening today, so we can't have you all watch AI. Some of you have to watch Pootie Tang.
Oh, tell me you got to see Pootie Tang
I didn't
instead.
see Pootie Tang, and I laughed at the people who saw Pootie Tang. And as we're walking out, we're all like debating, like fucking, the meaning of AI. And there's fucking these like 2 like stoner weirdos who are like, dude, Pootie Tang rocks.
Dude, okay, AI I love. I base friendships off of AI. I'm like, do you like AI? And if someone's like, no, I put a lot of other things into effect of whether I like it or not. But if I had the opportunity to watch right now or back then, AI, Steven Spielberg, Stanley Kubrick classic, or Pootie Tang, Louis C.K.'s classic, I take fucking Pootie Tang every time. Sepatai, like that shit is fucking amazing. Cool me down on the panty sty. Like I fucking love Pootie Tang.
Well,
it's an amazing movie.
That night was just significant for the fact that I remember that fucking horrible edict that someone would have to watch Pootie Tang. Not a lot of people even showed up that night. The night that had this is me getting close to shipping out. I had a deadline. I was about to
shipping out like you're out to the war.
Shipping out to California to study fucking film and television. And I'm counting the days. I have like maybe I think 21 days left. And I've been delayed by even the girl who like seemed really flirty with me. And I didn't understand why she didn't want to go on like a complicated date out to like dinner and then dancing or whatever the fucking shit I asked her for. Cause I thought like you ask a girl out to dinner and formal things. She had delayed. We all, every single person, we're all 17 to 22-year-old ish. Maybe there's some guys who were older and creepy who worked there, were there for one night before it opened screening, and it was American Pie 2.
Wow.
A movie that already is sexually charged. And after that thing, for some reason, one of the guys is like, let's all fucking wrestle, because it's Texas and there's weird shit happens. So it's like 2:33 in the morning, and everybody's just like, all these guys are being paired up to like wrestle, and the pairings are off. And because I'm at this point, I've gained back some of my weight. I'm at like 220 then, which is, not that far from where I am now. I was still big, but they paired me against to wrestle, because like all the girls were cheering on the wrestles and all the boys were fucking wrestling, because this is what I guess they did. And I get paired up to wrestle like a
nude Greco-Roman wrestling? Like what kind of wrestling?
No, just like whoever gets pinned first wrestle.
Yeah, pinned to the bone.
Yeah. So this is even on my fucking agenda, but this is ties into loss of virginity. I get paired to like wrestle like this 300-pound, 6'5" black dude who I think was
the mountain.
The map basically. And everyone's like, he'll don't do it. You're gonna get your ass kicked. You're not.
What's his name?
You can't do. I don't remember. Probably
Tyrone.
Michael Clark Duncan, because that's what he fucking looked like.
Jesus.
Tyrone would be a good name for him. But the girl, she comes up and she puts her hand on my back and says, You're really gonna fight him or wrestle him? Oh my God. Really?
So hot.
So I was like, fuck it. I do it. I get pinned immediately. But she's impressed. My bravery in an obvious like losing situation.
Which was really hot.
The next day, this girl, she's like rail thin. When I asked her like what she was gonna do after the summer starts, because she just graduated as a senior in a public school, and I'm like, oh, what are you gonna go to college? She's like, maybe. I don't know yet. I'm like,
wait, this is not the rental store girl, the video rental store girl.
No, that was that was another girl. Did I mention asking her out in an episode?
You did. You talked about trying to ask her out, and it was the whole Jerry Maguire thing. It was the whole,
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen was playing.
No, I never fucked her, but she was.
And she was like, I don't like college.
She was another blonde trailer trash girl. But this girl also had no plans of like
awesome
a career or whatever.
Cheers.
When I said I was going out to like California to go to college and study like film and television, she's like, why? Like, what do you do like with that?
That was the rental store girl, right?
In this industry.
That's the rental store girl, right?
Maybe I was merging characters. No, the rental store girl was named Desiree, and I never fucked her.
You did say that before. You told that story before. I can't remember how it was used though.
The rental store girl was one of the many girls that I just asked out when I was on my Ask Every Girl Out rampage, and she said no because she had a boyfriend.
Who was the girl that had the guy that drove like a Corvette or whatever?
It was a beaten up Camaro, and that was the rental store girl.
Okay, yeah.
These girls were both in the same era. This is right. This is right. I'm just trying to fuck anything, and I moved on to like blonde hick girls.
Did he wear a Hawaiian shirt? You said.
I believe yes. I painted a picture. I'm glad that.
Yes, he was like topless underneath.
I can't believe all that stuck with you. This girl was from the movie theater. She drove like a shitty beat down truck, and she did not seem to have a boyfriend, as I would later find out. Anyways, the next day she's like, my car isn't like work, whatever. Her car was never working. She asked for a ride home. She lives in like a shitty part of town. I drive her in my super cool Miata with the top down after work.
Oh my God, so hot. What were you playing? What was the music you were playing?
Okay, it was what was that song? Like, and if I don't want the world to see you, I don't think that they'd understand.
Collective Soul or something like that.
Meant to be broken.
I just want you to know who I am.
That song was playing on fucking The Buzz, which is the radio station that used to. As I drove
The Buzz.
Goddamn right, I remember what's the last song I heard before she invited me into her shitty fucking house that looked like it had 2 bedrooms, even though she had a sister, and no one was home. And she's like,
wait. Radio, okay, I just gotta say this. Radio stations we grew up with. I grew up with something called 98.5 KOME. They would literally say they had stickers even that said this for a short period of time.
Don't touch that dial. You've got cum on it.
You have cum on your radio. Yes, and that was removed very quickly.
Anyways, so she invites me in. And it's like, do you want I think she may have actually offered me a beer, and I was like, well, no, because I'm underage and I'm driving. And it was like 6 p.m.
I just want you to know who I am.
But she took me in and basically like pulled me into her bedroom.
Wow.
Pulled down my pants, like put my cock in her mouth once.
What?
Then reaches in a drawer. I thought at the time like surely this is like an older sister's drawer, because this girl who just graduated from high school wouldn't have a drawer full of condoms. And I later would find out that the condoms were specifically like they're like in a little box, which is the type you get from like a vending machine, not from when you buy a pack of condoms. Throws a condom on me, pulls me into her. I thrust a few times. I do not.
Pulls me into her?
Pulls me in.
Wow.
I am completely reacting to this scenario. Like I am a passenger on this trail. I thrust a few times, and then she's like, I'm good. And I'm like, okay. She's like, she basically tells me to leave at that point. She's like, I've got to do this. Or like, she had to like get ready for a party. I was not invited to the party. I was shoot out, and I was like, okay, she's got things to do, but she really likes me. And I go into
put your penis in this girl, and she pushed you out, and then said, I got things to do.
Yeah.
Who does that? I've never met
trailer trash. Like Nolan, have you ever fucked a trailer trash girl?
No. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I don't think you have. I have.
What else could she do? Did she have to go smoke some meth before like you finished?
I never looked this girl up on Facebook. Actually, I did probably look her up on Facebook when Facebook was popular. This is a time when you had to have a college ID to have Facebook. She was not on Facebook. As far as I know, I do not know what happened to this girl. But I'm guessing drugs.
What kind?
I didn't know what marijuana smelled like.
Allegedly, what kind?
I would assume, well, ecstasy was probably the popular thing at the damn time, right?
Oh, dude, I knew so many girls in college that did ecstasy. I've never touched it.
And the little container, like they look like little CO2 things, nitrous. I know she.
Yeah.
I later found out those were all
hippie crack.
Those were strewn not only around her place, but around the movie theater and like the trash cans and shit. And like that was her and a couple of friends. Anyways, I'm super stoked. I overlook all of these weird things. Go in the next day, tell a coworker who also went to my high school, who's like a year below me. So I was like friendly with him. I was like, oh, I told him what happened with name redacted and told him like, I think she's my girlfriend now. I think I have maybe I need to break up with her before I go to college. And he bluntly says, she has fucked everyone here. Every single guy who works here. And I later would found out that and probably included the 40-something-year-old fat manager. So,
Felc, you know what I take from this story? Is you didn't come the first time you had sex.
I didn't feel almost anything through that condom.
You know, condoms are terrible. You won't feel anything ever. I don't know. You're still fucking with condoms, so I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
I didn't come the first time I had sex, but literally the next time I had sex with the same partner, I came.
Yeah. Well, my point was that Felc is a lucky one who didn't come the first time he had sex. Where
that's lucky.
Like most of us, we came fast.
I didn't need. Yeah, no, I didn't even come. I did jack off later that night, and I think I just passed out after I came because I was just like, holy shit. I mean, even on the drive home, I was like pre-coming through my jeans because I was still so excited from the experience. But I was also very disillusioned by how little I felt. And I now kind of know that has a lot to do with just her body type. I had also probably just masturbated before I had gone to work that day. So it was like a half shift. So,
oh my God, so cool.
But yeah, I was so disillusioned by how little I felt through that fucking condom. And it was just like, that's all sex is? Because masturbation technically feels better. I mean, it does.
It did, yeah, with the condom. I mean, like, I first time I did it with a condom on, I wasn't sure, like, I was actually, like, in anything. I was like, am I in there? Like, what's going on?
There wasn't even a proper...
It's horrible. Condoms suck, dude.
There wasn't even a proper blowjob.
Pre-condom classic only.
Just to get my dick wet enough to put the condom on it. But I tell this story because when I was thinking that, like, this girl wanted to be so my girlfriend, and I was the one who I thought was going to have to break her little heart and move. So, like, you know, hey, I was thinking like this. I'd have to like tell her like we have to go our own separate ways because I'm going out to college in California, and you're going to stay here in your barely a house and continue working at this movie theater. And
fuck the hottest.
Later, I found out that I didn't need to say a goddamn word to her. She acted like it never happened, and she does this with every single guy because she probably had some fucking psychological issues. Not that I'm slut shaming in any capacity, but this girl also did some weirder shit in drugs that made me think she probably had some issues. So this really shattered my concept of a girlfriend. I was naive. I was to a certain degree slut shaming. I was saying like, I don't want a girl who'll do that again. The girl I want has to be chaste. And that leads me to college. And college now, all of a sudden, I was in a foreign fucking land. California, people acted so goddamn different, and I didn't know what to do. And
wait. Have you made it clear yet that you're from Houston and now you're going to California?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can restate it. That's probably good. Because now I am in California. And it's my first week in college, and God bless him, I'm going to say I got the worst advice that I've ever received from my own father. Yeah, you're farting?
That's not me!
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't tell who's farting, and I think sometimes when I listen to these episodes back and I hear myself laughing because no one's farting, I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like I'm farting and just laughing my ass off at my own farts. Nolan is the farter.
Nolan
All right,
is.
Cool Boy Nation. The secret farter on the episodes is mostly 80% of the time Nolan, 10% of the time Felc, and then the other 10% of the time me.
I'm bearing my soul in describing things that I had to like learn and find out, and Nolan doesn't understand any of them because girls are just like, "Oh my God, you're handsome, wanna fuck me?" And so Nolan's just farting throughout.
Wait, is that a song I hear playing? Is Nolan pretty
Nolan's
playing
pretty.
in the background?
And I wouldn't
Yeah.
be pretty until 2 more. bullet
Denzel
points.
Washington makes me hard every morning. How did you get the name Han? I've never been to 11.
All right, you want to know what my dad sagely advised to me was?
Yes.
How to talk to girls.
Dude, I've given so much stage advice right now. I'm so curious what yours is because I'm going to use it.
My dad's sage advice. Here's how you talk to girls, son. Just be civil to them. Girls, women really respond to civility. Yeah. So I thought that's how I talk to girls, and I didn't really have a whole. I mean, I made out with one girl, at a party because she just kind of grabbed me. I kissed one other girl who I spent like the night in bed with, but she never tried to fuck me, and I never tried to fuck her because I still thought I was supposed to be civil to her. And this brought me all the way through my fucking sophomore year when I realized that there was a glitch in the fucking matrix when it comes to college girlfriends, because I still was on the mission of get a girlfriend. I'd only had sex with one girl, and I wanted to have sex. As far as I cared, I can meet my second time, and that would be the girl I married. 2 girls would be enough, and you get married, and that was totally fine to me. And the glitch in the matrix is that you, even though at the time I was still a little overweight, man, needed cleared
Hot.
up. But I dressed like I didn't know how to dress because my prep school had uniforms. So all I wore were jeans that were 2 sizes too tight because I wouldn't admit what my actual size was, and polo shirts that were long, down past my cock because they were
That's
secondhand.
me every day. Every day, son. That's how I dress every day. Jeans too tight and polos past my cock.
There was dudes who were like so natty, so it's like they knew exactly how to dress, and they were getting girls, and I didn't know any of this.
Wait. Step back. Natty?
Natty is a term that means well dressed.
I never heard that term before.
Okay.
You've never heard that term before?
No, Felk never heard of swole, right? Swollen, and we had to like enlighten
I've heard
him.
swole.
Nolan.
I've absolutely heard swole.
No, because of Nolan and I, you had to meet some NorCalers to know swole because it's not a SoCal thing. People in SoCal don't go, yo, he's swole. So that's a NorCal
I
thing.
think I knew where swole was from the internet.
Hella, that's NorCal too.
Yeah.
South Park ripped on that shit. But Felk, natty, I think of like nasty prostitute crackhead. I don't, natty, what do you mean?
Natty means well dressed. Look it up.
Wow.
Never heard that.
Never heard that.
Well, you're
Look
not-
it up. Urban Dictionary, that shit.
Well, because you guys don't dress very well.
No, I don't. I wear hoodies and TTs and fucking jeans.
I try to dress somewhat well. You remember me?
Hashtag, I also started wearing bonobo pants because of an episode where we talked about how gays like to wear bonobos.
No
or
way have
something.
you actually bought bonobo pants.
I do. I have a pair of jeans. They're like not charcoal, like gray, light gray or dark gray.
You went to a bonobo?
No. My mom like bought them online or some shit. I just said my mom bought them online. Yes.
I just Googled bonobos and all I get is pictures of monkeys.
Monkeys with those sweet asses that are just
Yeah, that's
fucking
Google
pouring out of their
bonobos, too.
asshole. Dude, we're just mixing episodes right now. This is like macho males mixed
Yeah.
with. Wait, bonobos was macho males, wasn't it? Yeah, that was all macho males.
I never even explained what the glitch was. The glitch was that you could get fucking outside your league, or at least an attractive but super loyal girlfriend, as long as you were cool with a Christian girl who didn't want to lose her virginity till marriage. So that's what I found myself in a relationship with for a year and a half.
Game of Thrones shit.
And she was crazy, and but very, very loyal to me. And this is a year and a half of cock teasing. I eventually get blowjobs after a few months. That holds me over until eventually I just say like, hey, I need to like have had sex with you before marriage. I didn't want to graduate college. I mean, I'm a sophomore here, but I didn't want to go into like my junior year not having had sex with more than. There was like some girlfriends in between. There was little 2. She ended up having sex with me eventually, and I broke up with her immediately afterwards and started dating another girl in her sorority.
Cha-ching!
That I thought I was a badass. These girls were friends and shared friends, and I broke up with one, and within like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I was dating the other. So I ended up with the second girlfriend who also had the same. I'm Christian. I'm not losing it until marriage. She had sex with me like a month and a half later.
Time out.
Yeah.
Okay. Age you were with first girlfriend.
Which first like true girlfriend or for like?
Yes, whatever you count as your first girlfriend. How old are you?
19.
Okay, and your second girlfriend, the current girlfriend you're talking about right now in this story, how old are you?
That's third. There was another one. There was a Iranian chick.
Hot.
Yeah, that was for like 3 months between summers because I stayed in California I was
how
20.
old? 20, and now third one.
21.
21. Okay,
And then the fourth one who carried over into law school. I turned 22, or no, I turned 23, and graduate from college. And at this point,
hang on. I feel it's a little racist. You said Iranian, and you never spoke about any other girls' ethnicity. What are the other girls' ethnicities? Number one, what is she?
They're all white.
Okay, that's fine.
Technically Romanian, a Romanian refugee.
Romanian, I feel like it needs its own little asterisk. Yeah. I think that's okay. Yeah.
She was.
Which one was that? Wait, which one's Romanian?
This is the
number 3.
No, this is the first like real like girlfriend.
1
I have
is
in
Romanian,
college.
2 is Iranian, 3 is white, and 4 is white.
And American, yeah.
All American.
All American.
MAGA.
Yeah, damn it. Yes. It's worth mentioning that I told my parents about the Romanian refugee girl. She's from Central Romania, which is Transylvania. And my dad thought Transylvania was fictional. It had no knowledge of like Ceausescu or I mean, I'm sure he knew about the fall of the Soviet Union, but didn't know that there was like refugees from Romania that actually got out of the country as it fell and stuff. So like my parents thought I was making up a girl and making up this crazy story about where she was from, because he thought like where she was from was a fictional place. Like he maybe thought Romania wasn't real either. I don't know. But
what?
I spent most of my time with that fourth girlfriend, who was the important one. With this fourth girlfriend, like I thought that I was going to be in California for the next 3 years, because I was at this point applying to law schools. I didn't really want to do it, but I loved going to college so much. I was around cool people. We were drinking and partying. Everything was fun. I was making movies. I didn't care if I had 3 more years where I just had to study law. I just wanted more of it. And that didn't work out because California law schools cost like 3 times what law school costs pretty much everywhere else. And I ended up getting a scholarship to a school in San Antonio, Texas. So once it dawned on me that I would be leaving to San Antonio, which was I got to stay that whole summer after my senior year of college, I decided on a new mission. I had a girlfriend. I had consistently a girlfriend for 2 years between 2 different girls. So getting a girlfriend and having sex with her, regular sex, was not really a problem. I had achieved that. Pretty girls. And on top of this, I skipped a little thing. Before I got that second girlfriend, the third girlfriend, who was actually like pretty enough that I was proud to show her off, and so was the fourth one. A change happened. I lost a ton of fucking weight because I got walking pneumonia, and stayed for an interterm class. So for like 6 weeks, I had I had pneumonia, then I got healthy, then I did weight training, and I lost down to like 180 pounds. And on top of that, I just on a friend's coffee table, I looked through a magazine called Gentleman's Quarterly and immediately subscribed when I saw instructions, step-by-step instructions on how to dress like the pretty men in the magazine. Orlando Bloom was on the cover, I believe.
Who? Orlando?
Orlando Bloom was on the cover because.
Wait, what year is this? What year is Orlando?
It was Pirates. No, maybe it wasn't.
Pirates Orlando. That's not a good Orlando.
I think it was Orlando Bloom.
Wait, what's bad
Orlando Bloom actually might have been on one of the covers of like the first issues I subscribed to.
Well, Bad Orlando started in 03.
Okay, this is your Orlando Bloom assessment.
Oh, dude, it's clear because like Return of the King, he just wasn't as big. He was not as big.
Orlando Bloom in real life.
By the way, I met my wife at Return of the King.
Issues of
We've heard this story.
Yeah, that's how big of a nerd I am, Cool Boy Nation.
Well,
Dicks, suck.
It's good that you found.
I gotta be real straight for
college.
a second.
Obviously,
I had to go straight.
It's good that you found someone who had shared interests because the girls I did had like no overlap.
Guys, I am too comfortable.
With those
You look
last
amazing, by the way.
with those last 3 months,
Whip your dick out. Show us your whole dick.
I got a new mission.
Show us your whole
wow.
dick.
Was that I was about to move to Texas, and I knew that I was going to go long distance with this girl. I didn't have strong feelings about it lasting. I didn't really want to leave California because I loved it here. I loved the fact that it was always 72. I loved people talking. People cared about movies. I spent 4 years with everyone around me caring about movies after spending 4 years with no one liking movies. People didn't know who directors were. They didn't know what a Spielberg was.
What do people in Houston know then? Like how to fucking hog tie
Football. Everybody talk about football.
And NASA, motherfucker. NASA.
And
NASA.
Well, NASA's less
Hashtag
important.
space.
I did go to space camp.
Hashtag me too.
I did go to space camp. Anyways,
You did not go to space camp.
I did go to space camp.
Is it just like the movie Space Camp from the 80s?
Nothing like it. And I didn't fuck anyone, so it's not relevant. And also, it was
Oh,
the year.
dude.
It was the
Oh,
summer
dude.
Jurassic Park was in theaters.
That movie was amazing because they went to space.
Yeah, you don't do that in an actual space camp. You don't even you're not in a scenario where it's possible for you to go to space.
Okay.
I don't believe
It's
it.
really
I
unrealistic.
barely remember the movie. How do they somehow get launched into space accidentally? What the fuck is that?
I don't know, but I
storyline?
remember that movie being a big part of why I agreed to go to space camp. And the space camp.
Everyone goes to the space camp for that movie. It's that movie made Space Camp.
Here's a natural history museum you've already been to where there's dinosaur skeletons. And I'm like, look, Jurassic Park's out. Dinosaurs are fucking awesome. This don't have shit to do with space. This is a mislabeled camp. All right, back to summer between senior year of college and my 1 year of law school. I have a cool apartment. I had everything ahead of me, and I had just 2 months of this cool, nothing to do but have sex with name redacted girlfriend. And I got on a new mission because I didn't know what the future led, and I wanted to have a threesome.
Oh shit! This is the beginning. This is the beginning.
This girl actually liked girls, and she was sexually adventurous. And we initially tried a couple of times. We actually the sluttiest girl who'd done shit like that. We messaged her on Facebook because Facebook became a huge thing in 2005. We had a thing where there was a really slutty girl that she worked with at a restaurant.
A really slutty girl. What's her name?
Her name was. I have to cut that out. But
no, don't cut that out because it's so slutty.
It turned out later that she had a meth problem.
It's so slutty.
Yeah, it's a very slutty name.
So slutty.
And we got close, but then that girl ended up dating another fucking druggie at that restaurant.
Oh, that slut.
And it didn't quite work out. and I tried to hook after my girlfriend said yeah, we're not gonna fuck around with her. The problem was that I thought for all those years before I had legitimate girlfriends, I thought the whole thing was when I have a girlfriend who's pretty and I can show her off and she has sex with me, I would be happy. And the first girl didn't really bring me happiness and actually made me feel terrified sometimes because she was wanted 3 kids and a lot of commitment, even though we were in our 20s, early 20s in college. Second girl didn't care about these things. Kind of just was whatever, it's love. There's love being said, but it was whatever happens, happens. But that didn't really make me happy either. So I thought, okay, if I have a girl who loves me, but also will allow me to fuck other girls with her, that would be the goal. That was the ideal scenario. And I was at a point where I was getting everything I pursued, I'd gotten some fashion. So I was naive enough to think I could have that and grasp it and hold on to it for the rest of my life.
You did not see this, Cool Way Nation. You did not see this, but Felc just gave us a 3D diagram. He had this whole it was intense. Felc, you're very into this. I'm loving this.
I legitimately thought I could have that for the rest of my life. Or if I could at least get this one girl to bring a third girl in, then I could get that again. and it didn't work out for me. And I didn't end up having my first threesome with this girl, unfortunately. There was a couple of like false starts where I got her to kiss another girl, and that girl got like backed out. She's like, I don't want to do stuff with you. Or we were at like a party with like another girl, and then a guy tried to like push his way in, and then I looked around the room, there's like 30 guys there, and I'm like, okay, grab my girlfriend, get the fuck out of here. We're not at a party of our caliber. This is not for us. But it happens. The day finally comes. I have to move fucking cross country, and I say a tearful goodbye to this girl. And I moved to San Antonio, and I start law school, and I immediately hate everyone I'm talking to who is just the soulless fucking sociopaths, or we're drawn to like a 3rd tier law school in fucking San Antonio. But I was still in a long distance relationship with a girl who was a few years below me and in college. So all of a sudden, I looked sharp because I learned to dress. I spoke with a confident voice. I still knew that being civil to them didn't work because I had watched assholes get girls one after another. So I knew that there was a little bit of antagonizing was confident, but I was mostly still just writing my own path when it came to talking to girls, feeling it out. And I was still getting fucking offers to like come over, hang out, all kinds of stuff, but I was good. I wasn't going to cheat on my girlfriend, but I knew that wasn't going to last forever. I didn't make too many friends in law school because everybody cared about football. Nobody cared about movies. I remember talking about, I'm going to see Domino because I was really excited to see what Tony Scott had a movie by Tony Scott and the writer of
dude, that was really hyped up.
The writer of Donnie Darko. I was so excited to see it. Nobody even knew what this movie was or that it was coming out. I spent most of my time seeing movies in theaters, but it was a weird time for me because people fucked. Texans did not have a fucking problem just fucking and studying. That was their life. And girls were giving me fucking legit like offers just based on me feeling out my way of how to talk to girls and dressing somewhat well and looking pretty sharp because I had learned everything that GQ had taught me. But I finally met, well, really 2 friends, but one who was I'm going to focus on in law school. I met the most interesting person I have ever met. His name was Billy.
Wait, real name Billy, or is this like cool code name Billy?
His real name was Billy. I'm going to redact his last name, but his actual fucking name is Billy, which is also the name of a guitarist from the band Redacted, the So finding him on the internet is incredibly difficult because you just get the fucking famous guitarist. But I wanted to find him because I lost contact with him and am curious whatever happened to this guy. Now, this is when we start segueing into what will become chapter 2 and the Felc.
What? Already?
This is when I became the Felc that you now know.
Wow.
Through college, I had gone to 2, 3, maybe 3 times gone to strip clubs. These are with fraternity bros. And I thought strip clubs were really cool. One time I'd gone on my own just because I knew I was joining a fraternity and didn't want that to be my first time. And this is in college. I thought, oh my God, you can just pay like $10 and get into a place where girls take their clothes off and you can just look at their fucking vaginas. But after like a couple of times going, the novelty kind of wore off. I didn't have enough money to get dances because I was a college student. And, all the girls were there for was just getting dances, right? They were all fucking California strip club girls, aspiring actresses and models, girls who didn't fucking really want to put up with any bullshit and just wanted your money. So I didn't think strip clubs were that fucking unique or special. But then I was in San Antonio and I was going to this law school where people were just like, a group of people, women included, were like, let's go to strip club Sugars. And I was like, what? Okay, let's go. Strip clubs are huge meccas. They're not hidden down dark alleys like they are in California. They're right off the fucking freeway. They're restaurants, they're bars, they're meeting places. People would go to strip clubs for lunch. People would go to strip clubs to study with a girl in their lap. And I was just like, whoa, this is fucking weird. And that's where I fucking connected to Billy, because I saw this guy every single time we were at a strip club. He'd have a girl in his lap. He wouldn't spend a fucking dime on her. And the next party, he'd be there with her. Or she would just straight up fucking get in his car and leave with him. These were strippers at work, but they were, allowed to leave and come and go. Because they were like private contractors or whatever. So, they would just straight up leave with him. And I was like, dude, like, what's the deal? We also bonded over like other things because we wanted to hang out. I learned a little bit about Billy. Now, Billy is Chilean, so he spoke English and Spanish, which when it comes to fucking girls in San Antonio was super advantageous because he could speak Spanish as well. I was just like, all right, how do you fucking do that? How do you talk to a girl for 30 minutes and then she wants to fuck you? And he goes, dude, that's literally like what I do. So Billy grew up in Chile.
He sounds cool.
And had 8 sisters. 8 sisters. So he had learned this kind of shit naturally. He knew how to read and interpret women because he grew up surrounded by them. Saw what guys they would find attractive and wouldn't find attractive, and learned to mold himself to this. Billy went to undergrad in San Francisco, studied engineering. Then he got a master's in Austin in engineering. And after that, he ended up going to law school with me. So he was 3 years older and had been part of something that you may not have heard of called Project Austin. Does that ring a bell to either of you?
Nope.
No.
Project Austin was part of the pickup artist movement that was happening between 2002 and like 2005.
Is this a movie?
Sorry?
Is it a movie? What is it exactly?
It's a very popular book by Neil Strauss that would not come out for another 6 months after I had met Billy. But basically, he was just racking up fucking degrees. So he had gotten his master's and now he was getting his JD. So he was doing he was just racking up debt, racking up college loans. Dude lived in a downtown San Antonio apartment that was converted loft from a Cadillac dealership. It overlooked the Riverwalk. It overlooked downtown. He specifically went to a realtor and wanted a Fraser view. And it was just like the view from the Fraser apartment because he even had the San Antonio Space Needle. It was the most badass apartment. I was like, how the fuck are you affording this? And he's like, oh, I just really, you can actually do maximum when you do student loans. And this time I went maximum so I could get a fucking pad because I knew the pad was important because if I'm going to try and do Project Austin shit here, but he didn't end up doing it. But what it was that he had made money. He was teaching the pickup artist techniques in Austin to other like fucking younger college kids. And he just got in because he kind of fucking already knew that shit. But it was a whole like thing. And I didn't know any of this. I didn't know any of this was about to was going down. This guy was, there's people, who are like, they're just born naturals at one thing. And then there's people who are just like fucking geniuses. So that there's they approach everything with that fucking genius like mentality of like, everything's a problem and I just gonna solve it. That's how Howard Hughes was. I think that's what James Cameron probably is. Maybe even Steve Jobs. And I think Billy was one of them, unless he was just a blowhard and lying to me the entire time. Because he held a patent, or claimed to, but I believe him, for a triangular bolt. Because while in engineering school, he applied for this because he thought bolts typically have like an octagonal configuration, right? But if a triangle is the strongest shape in geometry,
yeah, it is. I love the fucking triangle so hard.
Why not make the triangle the end of the bolt?
I love the triangle.
So he filed for a patent for this while in college, and then got a master's degree to increase his ability to get through engineering. And then he wanted to represent himself because he claimed that he had a lawyer who tried to steal the invention for him. He claimed that this would make cars last longer, make the space shuttle last longer. This would be a revolutionary multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar idea. but he hadn't made any of it and was just racking up money. So he had like weird investments where you get like bank loans and like put vending machines places without asking for permission. The guy was half genius, half grifter, but he fucked a different girl every single night.
Wow.
And I wanted to know what that power was. So he started taking an interest in me because we had shared views this law school. Just get the degree because you're here for the degree. And that's what I was doing too. I was just still interested in like doing film stuff as much as I was in actual law school. But then I wanted to learn everything he knew. And he was talking about how there's this book coming out. It's going to fuck up everything because they're just going to get this guy who was known as Mystery had allowed a book to be written about this whole pickup artist thing. It was a very like specific story about a few individuals, even though this was like a movement of like hundreds of people. And it was just going to give away all the fucking tips and tools. So eventually that book came out and I read it. But I already kind of like it just conceptualized shit that he was demonstrating to me in person, just kind of for fun. I didn't pay him or anything. He was just, hey, you're a friend. I'll just fucking tell you this shit. Because a lot of what I was doing was working. This is the person who occasionally would wear like a fucking feather boa or a top hat to fucking bars, but sometimes would just dress in like a nice blazer when everyone else was at a bar in t-shirts. And I had blazers and I could spend as much money as I wanted to on clothes because my parents didn't question clothes. So I started wearing blazers and I started wearing scarves and I started wearing like just dressing a little bit nicer to bars. My whole life, I have been told when it comes to talking to girls, just be confident. Just be yourself. And a while back, I mentioned the idea of, you don't say to someone like me, the trash should be taken out, right? You say, please take out the trash. Here's when you need to do it. Step-by-step instructions are what the functioning or high-functioning autistic brain craves. This was a huge market. I didn't realize this at the time, but I later found out that the entire pickup artist movement was about giving the needed step-by-step instructions on how to fucking be attractive to girls, how to be charming to women. Don't just agree to everything they say. There's a concept of negging, but don't neg too far. Here's examples of positive negs. They had their own terminology, Kino. I studied this shit as hard as I studied the actual US law. But I still had a girlfriend. I would go to strip clubs with my friends and I'd say those things to girls. Strippers would give me their fucking numbers. Strippers would say, meet me here at 2 a.m. and I wouldn't meet them. I was just sharpening learning a craft that I was dedicated not to use because I had a girl who I knew I would get back to California someday. But we had a fight on the phone. We had an argument and we broke up. We were on a break for 3 weeks. Now, do either of you know any of the shit I'm talking about? Have you even heard of the idea of the pickup artist movement, the community? Do you remember the VH1 show in 2007?
But from you. Yeah, from you.
In those 3 weeks, I ended up having sex with, 7 different women before she called me and wanted me back. And that just happened to be at the time that, the strippers were nothing special. They were, one girl had sex with me and later told me that she had a boyfriend who was in the military who had just asked her to marry him. And I felt nothing other than sexual gratification from fucking her. And I realized this is a path I can actually do. So I lost a little bit of value in the concept of having a girlfriend. Billy told me that he had sex with over 1,000 women. And I thought that was a goal too far.
No, but you don't believe
But I
it,
thought
right?
if 1/5 of what he is saying, well, I mean, in the time I knew him, he probably had sex with 40 women. And this is like 7-8 months.
40 confirmed.
Well, they left with him. You don't really, no, not confirmed, but I definitely know he fucked one girl because literally we were at a party and a girl pulled him into his room, fucked him, and we heard him fuck her in front of while everyone was just shitting and chatting. But my point is, I'm at the point where now I'm convinced that this shit works. I've been in law school for about 7 months, getting grades in. I'm convincing my parents that I don't want to go to law school, and I'm getting the opportunity to go back to California. another thing that's happening at this end is that Billy's getting weird. And 1 month he went from being super confident once he finally got his final grades and everything for that first semester. Billy starts being depressed. Like he starts like stops shaving and all kinds of other shit. He starts talking, about his triangle bolt and how he thinks the government is spying on him. That's why it's important that he be able to represent himself, because he won't be able to trust any lawyers. Anyways, I now kind of am comfortable leaving San Antonio. And so I do. I fortunately move to California, and I get to move into a fucking horrible house in a bad part of Hollywood with 4 other guys from my fraternity, including Cool Boy Corey.
Oh, Corey.
Everyone else has a room.
Hi, Corey.
But the only thing available is a closet. I had a fucking luxury 1-bedroom with a fireplace and a fucking balcony and a walk-in closet for $600 a month in San Antonio. And now for $550, I'm renting a fucking closet in Hollywood. I'm on my own. I'm working, occasional jobs as runners and stuff for commercials and TV shows and stuff. And tensions are growing with the ex. And I'm now, reading the book finally comes out. The Game by Neil Strauss.
Boom.
You haven't heard of it. I don't know how you haven't heard of it. Look it up. Just read the synopsis of what it is. The thing about like the whole, what Billy taught me was that rather than this thing to like just be confident and go with your gut, here is a clear set list of instructions. You want to kiss a girl? Say this. Say, do you want to kiss me? And then she could say yes, no, or I don't know. If she says yes, you kiss her. If he says, I don't know, you say, let's find out, and try to kiss her. If she says no, then say, oh, I wasn't asking you if I could kiss you. It just seemed like you had something on your mind. That was just like, it was that with a script all the way to from meeting her, from introducing yourself to her, to fucking her. And it was like, just follow this fucking script. Change it up a little bit here or there, but just follow this fucking script. Because most girls hadn't heard that script before because there were so many variations of it. And it totally worked. Wow. Although Billy warned me that once the book came out, it was going to be mainstream. And I do think that happened. In fact, that's the antagonist of the next chapter. In fact, just a year later, there would be a fucking VH1 show about it. But until that happened, it worked. And anyways, we're now at the point where I'm back in LA. My relationship ends. And then I move into just a nice 2-bedroom apartment with Cool Boy Corey.
Nice.
My ex-girlfriend breaks up with me, but that strengthens my resolve. I'm about to start working at a name redacted place and meeting some relatively cool boys. But before I do that, right before I moved out of the fucking horrible house and into a livable scenario, my girlfriend breaks up with me. I go home for 1 week. My family shows that they love me and support me. And if this is what I really want to do, they're there for me. And I go out.
Wait,
I
how do
see
they
Billy.
say that to you? Do they think you're gay? Maybe like how is it said?
We said you aren't allowed to make homophobic jokes on this one.
I'm sorry, I don't mean that, but I don't know. I could read that one way or the other. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, that I wanted to live in Los Angeles and work in television.
Dude, I am not from Texas. The idea to me of growing up in Texas and then moving to California, I would think my Texan father would be like, what are you, gay?
Basically.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's why I brought it up.
No, they didn't think I was gay. They knew I wasn't gay. They knew I wasn't gay because I was fucking obsessed with girls.
Because you were crushing so much fucking puss.
No, but I was obsessed with how do you get this? This is an unobtainable. It was like that fucking the holy grail for me. I was questing for it, but I never would get it. But eventually, I was now getting to the point where I could. I was back. I went back home after 6 months of shit in Hollywood and just finding out that you can see the Hollywood sign for fucking horrible crime-ridden areas. It's not all glamour. There's homeless people everywhere. I was in literal Hollywood, and yet there was a fucking corner store where there was a shooting, and the guy hid down our street, and there's stray cats everywhere. I thought it was horrible. And my, loyal fucking girlfriend broke up with me. So, right before I'm about to move, after she breaks up with me, my first thing is, I'm going to test this shit in California, I go to a strip club, and the first pretty stripper there, I just run all this stuff. And instead of negging her, I could realize that she was in a kind of sensitive area. I ended up like talking, we made a connection over the fact that California people are just cold and Texas people are nice. She was from another part, I don't even remember. But this stripper fucking basically said like, I'm off at 3, come over. And I did. And I ended up having sex with her for like 3 weeks straight. She's the first girl that licked my ass, and it felt amazing. She was a perfect body. She was
yes, this is what I want to hear.
Fake tits. She was also I come on faces before, but this is the first girl who like loved it, wanted it, and she had like a nice 2-bedroom right on Hollywood Boulevard. The only thing that she didn't like about me was the fact that I ate meat because she was a vegan, and I'd never even heard the word vegan before. I didn't know what it meant. But other than that, this girl fucking maybe 4 or 5 years older than me, perfect body stripper, loved old Hollywood. I got her with 30 minutes of talking, and then just woman wanted to fuck me. I didn't care so much that my ex-girlfriend had broken up with me at that point. I was on a new mission. Billy had fucked 1,000 women. I didn't believe him entirely, but I had a time limit because Billy had handed me a card that said mainstream instead of Joker. And I just thought, I'll look into it. Because when I saw him on a week stay back at home, I drove out to San Antonio and saw him, and he wasn't really sure about what was going to happen with his law school situation because his grades weren't good enough to keep his like scholarship or maybe even loans. And he seemed a little stressed out. But even though I stayed with him only one night, I crashed on his couch, he still found a girl at a bar and fucked her that night, even in his fucking worried state. I later found out that he had been institutionalized. And because I left a pair of glasses there, and when I was back in LA, I tried to get him to call him a couple times, being like, "Hey, can you mail my fucking glasses there?" Because I wear contacts, and he never responded. And then I reached out to a mutual friend who still was at the law school and was doing fine, and he was like, "Yeah, he's in a mental institution." And I lost track of him from that point on. I never knew what happened to him. He might have made billions of dollars off his triangular bolt. It's tough to know because his popular name. A lot of Billies on the internet. So I don't know what happened to that guy.
So many.
It's a mystery. But that one time, he did warn me that, hey, this book's coming out. This shit's going to be in the consciousness. Girls are going to start to be ready for it, and it's going to change everything. It's going to change male and female dynamics. Now that we've just basically given out the key to getting pussy to anybody, it's not behind a paywall. It's not something that has to be learned and groomed. We're just going to hand this shit out, publish it in books, make it a VH1 show, put it on the internet. And everything that like modern feminism has been a result of that information going mainstream. And you guys don't know about it because I don't think you were ever in the streams where it was hitting. But between 2006 and 2015, it would change the world. And that's where I leave off tonight. Because at that point, I found a new interesting thing in which I wouldn't be tired at 2 a.m. because a lot of the strippers wanted to fuck me at like 3 a.m. And I was like, I want to go to bed. But soon, I would be getting off work at 2 a.m. because I started at a company called Name Redacted. And I would start working with you two guys. Well, that was the fucking best first book of Felc I've ever done. Cool Boy Nation, if you have any questions about the Book of Felc, Chapter 1, Felc Begins, then let us know by emailing us at thecoolboyspodcast@gmail.com. New episodes of the Cool Boys Podcast come out every Tuesday. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Cool Boys Also, please review us on iTunes. Also, donate to us on Patreon. It only costs $1, and you will receive special access to content too hot to air. You can find the Cool Boys on Patreon at patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. Also, please check out our other great Cool Boy Central content with Batman and Beyond on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.
And beyond.
Stay cool, Cool Boy Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from Felc.
And that's Byzies from Ballard.
And that's Pisces from Noli. I fuck the hottest men.
All right, we did it.
You are upstanding American boy.
You've excelled in all things.
I pump while I dump.
Oh, yeah. So cool.
Oh, yeah. So cool.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Oh, yeah.
This episode of the Cool Boys podcast was brought to you by
Chapter 1, the Book of Felc.
Chapter 2 is where that's the one everyone remembers.
Chapter 2 is always The Empire Strikes Back, the Godfather Part 2. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you guys are, I mean, you're not really involved, but you knew me at the point that we're now at.
We're finally there. Name redacted.
Get some
Cool Boys.
so serious.